Here are some tips for your left hand whenever you're playing scales or single note passages. The first thing would be with your left hand thumb, make sure it's in the center of the back of the neck, not coming up over the top, and with the thumb, try to make sure that it's doing this and not doing that. Also, I don't let the thumb go sideways. As I said, I don't let it creep over the top. I keep it in the middle of the back of the neck. Now, with my other fingers, I leave them in position. So this means that no matter what string I'm on, my first finger is hovering over the first fret, second finger hovers over the second fret, third finger over the third fret, fourth finger over the fourth fret. You can change positions as well, but the basic premise is that each finger is assigned to a fret. So, one finger per fret. Another thing that I do is I make sure that I keep my fingers bent at both joints so they look like this. Things that are common to do are to collapse joints like this or to stiffen the fingers that aren't being used. Instead, keep all your fingers bent and close to the fretboard so that when you play a scale, they'll look like this. If you keep your fingers close to the fretboard, you're going to have better economy of motion, and you're going to be able to play more quickly and more accurately. Another thing that will help is if you hold each note until you're ready to play the next note. So rather than playing a note, releasing it immediately, and then fingering the next note, hold a note and then release it only as you start to press on the fret for the next note in the scale. And when you're done with a note, think of releasing rather than jumping off of the fretboard. It's very common to play a note and then send the fingers far away from the fretboard. It's not very helpful. You want to keep your fingers close to the fretboard after you're done playing notes. Another thing that's helpful is even when I'm changing strings, I'll move my fingers down to the next string in anticipation where they have to go next. So if I'm changing from the 6th string to the 5th string, my 4th finger is playing the 6th string. So then my other 3 fingers have now moved down to the 5th string, getting ready for the notes that they're going to play next. So, quick review. Keep your thumb centered on the back of the neck. Don't let it go sideways. Don't let it come over the top. Try to stay in position and use one finger per fret. Another thing you can do is keep your fingers bent and arched at both joints and close to the fretboard rather than collapsing the joints or stiffening the fingers and pushing them away from the fretboard like that. You want to hold each note until you're ready to press down on the next one. And when you're done with the note, think of just gently releasing it. Just let the finger barely move off the fretboard rather than kind of jumping off of it. And the last thing was make sure that if you're changing strings that you move your fingers in anticipation of where they've got to go next.